Have you ever wondered what it's like to wake up in a coffin surrounded by grieving loved ones who believed you were gone forever? Picture the gasps, the stunned silence, as the supposed departed make an unexpected return to the realm of the living. Brace yourself for a journey into the mysterious and surreal as we uncover the astonishing tales of 10 people who defy the finality of their own funerals. These stories blur the lines between life and death, inviting us to ponder the mysteries that shroud our mortal journey. Get ready to dive into a realm where the boundary between the living and the dead becomes tantalizingly thin. In 2016, the world was captivated by the extraordinary tale of Noella Rukundo. Residing in Australia, she returned to her native country of Burundi to attend her stepmother's funeral, unaware that her husband had orchestrated a hit on her. Hitmen apprehended her upon arrival, but discovering the husband's involvement granted her freedom. Noella returned home, unbeknownst to her husband, who, misled by the hitman seeking payment, arranged her funeral. Confronting him at her own funeral, Noella's husband, Balena, was later sentenced to 5 years in prison. Noella, with her 8 children, embarked on a new life, revealing the shocking turn in a marriage that lasted a decade. The hitman's moral objection saved Noella's life, leaving her husband astounded at her unexpected reappearance at the funeral he himself had orchestrated. In the village of Brawning, Hertfordshire, England, a remarkable event unfolded involving local farmer Matthew Wall. On October 2nd, the community gathered for his funeral. However, en route, a pallbearer accidentally dropped the coffin. Surprisingly, this mishap proved to be a blessing, as the jolt awakened Matthew Wall. Living for another 2 decades, his unexpected revival became an enduring celebration for the village. Whether he was in a deep sleep or a coma remains unclear, but despite numerous vital sign checks confirming his apparent demise, Matthew Wall's revival raises unsettling thoughts about the possibility of people being mistakenly interred alive. Enter the perplexing tale of Gilberto Arroyo from Brazil in 2012, where the unimaginable became reality. Mistaken for deceased, Gilberto was confirmed dead after his brother identified a body at a local morgue, leading to a solemn gathering around his coffin. However, the shock set in when Gilberto himself appeared at the door, revealing a case of mistaken identity. Working at a car wash in Goiás, Brazil, Gilberto shared a striking resemblance with another car washer who had tragically passed away at the same establishment. His brother, unable to distinguish between the two, erroneously identified the deceased as Gilberto. This mix-up not only stunned his family and friends during the funeral, but undoubtedly left Gilberto in disbelief at the peculiar turn of events. Imagine the astonishment of being alive when everyone believed otherwise. Meet Nicephorus Glycus, a bishop who served at a church in Lesbos, Greece. One day he was declared deceased, and in keeping with tradition, his body was displayed in the Methmini church. However, after 2 nights of this somber display, a startling occurrence unfolded. Nicephorus sat up, demanding an explanation. Contrary to all appearances, he claimed to be alive and well, attributing his apparent demise to a prolonged nap. Some speculated that he might have lapsed into a coma. Despite local medics confirming his lack of vital signs in the ancient church, opinions diverged, with some viewing it as a miraculous event and others considering it a peculiar medical phenomenon. Enter the story of Muhammad Rahan from Damascus, Syria. One day, while at a local market, a nearby airstrike caused a massive blast that severely impacted the area. Shockingly, Muhammad was reported as having passed away, supposedly buried under the rubble. His friends and family, mourning his loss, organized a funeral, only to be stunned when he miraculously appeared just as the ceremony concluded. Muhammad had spent 36 hours buried beneath the debris, but managed to free himself without assistance. As he walked into the funeral, traces of debris still clung to his hair and beard. The emotional roller coaster experienced by his loved ones, from believing he had not survived to discovering his unexpected return, is truly unimaginable. Walter Williams from Mississippi faced an extraordinary event on February 26, 2014. At the age of 78, he was officially declared deceased. All the necessary paperwork was completed, and he was placed in a body bag before being transported to a funeral home. However, just a day before his scheduled funeral, a peculiar incident occurred. While being prepared, the coroner noticed faint breathing, and suddenly, Walter's legs started moving, confirming he was alive. He was swiftly taken to a hospital, where his revived state was verified. Unfortunately, this unexpected resurgence was short-lived, as he passed away for real 2 weeks later. His nephew described the experience as an emotional roller coaster, first mourning a loved one's passing, discovering they were alive, and then experiencing the final farewell. While it might sound like fiction, such situations can indeed occur, known as Lazarus syndrome, where individuals appear to come back to life after being declared deceased. In 2019, Muhammad Furkan's family faced profound sadness as they prepared to bury their loved one. However, the situation took an incredible turn when Muhammad, presumed deceased and confirmed by multiple doctors, suddenly began to move. Despite the initial misdiagnosis, the 20-year-old was found to be in good health and promptly rushed to a hospital, where he received ventilation support. The revelation that he was still alive occurred only after his family ceased paying hospital bills due to financial constraints. This incident prompted an investigation into the healthcare system in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Muhammad's older brother conveyed the family's trauma from the emotional roller coaster, a sentiment easy to understand given the circumstances. Zhang Di-yang, a 66-year-old man from China, once conceived the idea of orchestrating his own funeral. Motivated by curiosity, particularly due to his unmarried and childless status, he arranged the event to gauge the number of attendees. In Chinese culture, the deceased are believed to have certain needs that must be tended to by regular visits to their graves. Surprisingly, 40 invitees and several hundred others turned up for Zhang's staged funeral. However, his contentment was marred by the absence of 20 friends and relatives, leading him to express disbelief at their apparent lack of concern, stating, "I can't believe so many relatives and friends don't care about me." Reflecting on this, one might find contentment in the thought of over 100 people attending their own funeral. Meet Kamil, a 25-year-old Polish man who, after consuming excessive vodka, collapsed at a bar, prompting his friends to call for an ambulance. Subsequently, he was taken to a hospital where he was initially declared deceased. However, upon arriving at the morgue, it was discovered that he was in fact alive. Instead of heading home, Kamil promptly returned to the bar where his friends awaited. Without missing a beat, they resumed their vodka-fueled activities. Now it's your turn to speak up. Share which story you found the most amazing from this list in the comments below. If you like this video, click the next one shown on the screen. I'm sure you'll like it. Thanks for watching.